Tim's Enthusiast Garage, episode 17, Chichester, England, and the Goodwood Festival of Speed. Does it get any better than that? In this episode, you're going to find out that the answer to that question is a resounding no. Now, in the build-up to this episode, I thought Goodwood is something that you have to do. It's a once-in-a-lifetime episode, so I got my passport together, took my favorite photographer, my son, my 16-year-old son, and we headed to the UK. And you know what? This trip blew my mind. So we grabbed the world's greatest breakfast, a traditional English breakfast, we got ourselves a Peugeot, and we headed to Goodwood. It's the night before opening day here at Goodwood, and the mood is electric. The cars that they're bringing to fore is just unbelievable. It's unbelievable. It's day one here at Goodwood. I'm stood in front of Goodwood House, and as ever, Lord March is putting on an amazing event. In our Lotus Esprit episode, we talked a lot about Peter Stevens. Behind me is sat one of his greatest designs of all time, the McLaren F1. He's actually here this weekend, throwing a Carlton up the hill. Lord March knows how to throw a heck of a party, because let me tell you, the cars that were arranged on his lawn were arranged in such a way that you could take in each and every angle of that car. I saw elements of the McLaren F1 and the DB5 and the Zonda that I'd never seen before. Now, while I could look at these beautiful historic road cars all day, what Goodwood's really about is race cars and racing drivers and racing history and racing heritage. And before our eyes, some of the most beautiful cars, some of the most historic and storied, fabled cars of all time were being unloaded and driven around all around us. Like many of you, I've been to historic races at Laguna Seca and Watkins Glen, but there's just something special about Goodwood. Gran Turismo and Forza generations, cars like this Delta S4 and the Alfa Romeo 155 make our life. I think a big part of what makes Goodwood so special is that it's curated by Lord March. This guy is a real sucker for the details, and he got everything right. It's like every driver that you want there, every car that you want there, on a piece of property that is absolutely breathtaking from every angle, including up in the air, on this giant Ferris wheel. What's better than an XJ220? How about an XJ220 LM? This one's driven by David Coulthard and the lovely Lotus Esprit mirrors. Yes, love them with me. Friday, and we're here in the paddock area. They're staging all these cars, and it's almost unbelievable. Imagine being right next to the exhaust pipe of every car you've ever dreamed about, every F1 car. That's where we are. We just came from the pits. V10 F1 cars are being prepared to be started. The cacophony is like nothing else. It's absolutely unbelievable atmosphere here at Goodwood, and it's something that, as far as automotive travel is concerned, I think that Goodwood is the absolute pinnacle destination. Where else are you going to see this? So take a walk with me here. Check this out. Automotive Field of Dreams don't come much better than this. It's a Renault Turbo 5 Part 2, every other vehicle you've ever dreamed about, and they're all right here. absolute greatest things about being here at Goodwood with the media pass is that you get into the grid area where they're lining up all of these cars, and it is an absolute field of dreams. If you grew up in the touring car area, there are touring cars, some of which I've never even seen. As an Audi fan, there's a South African RS4 touring car here, put together by an Audi Sport team that is just absolutely incredible, running about 800 horsepower. There's the Decra E30 M3 that all of us have known from video games and from slot cars and from the races themselves. Vorsteiner logo and all. It's everything you could possibly dream. Goodwood's the right destination. Garrett, and he prepares this Audi S4 for hand sport. Garrett, is this your first time here at Goodwood?
It's actually our second time. The first time we were here was 2007, when we were lucky enough to run one car on the hill, one car on the rally stage. We had Michel Mouton on the hill, and Henry Mikkeler on the rally stage in an S1 and an 82, so Agni rally cars. And this year we were lucky enough to come back with the S4, as you mentioned. So no, it's a great opportunity to come and see a wide variety of cars they arrange at this event, with so many famous drivers as well. It's an honour to be here.
So tuning wise, how do you settle this car?
We've got the car with a set of apps that's been made recently from it was refreshed before we only got it. So there are 5 separate EEPROMs in the ECU that have to be programmed on a dyno. So it's still on MP 1.7. That's what we run.
That's great.
But yeah, I mean, if it's all working as it should, then really there shouldn't be any need to touch anything. You know, right?
Imagine preparing a car and having Michel Mouton drive the car.
Yeah,
it's the absolute pinnacle, and that's what Goodwood is for me.
Yeah.
At least. It's the pinnacle of every vehicle you've ever dreamed about being on display. Thanks for taking the time to talk.
No worries. Have a good weekend.
Yeah, you too. Okay, now seriously, even when you think this event has given you all it has to give, right at the finish line, there is arranged a full rally stage. With jumps, with cars being driven at speed by the drivers that drove them in the era. WRC, Group B, everything. Oh my goodness.
Like front door is okay. I felt it was flapping.
Now, it was at this point that I seriously almost lost it. My son and I looked at each other and it was just disbelief. It was pure disbelief. I had watched and seen videos of Goodwood before, and I knew there was going to be a rally stage, but nothing prepared me for what was there. The cars that were brought to the rally section were almost better than the cars brought to the hill climb. I mean, it really was that good. And for about an hour and a half to 2 hours, I was sort of just in a daze where I was just walking around looking at these cars thinking, thank you for doing this event. Thank you, Lord March, for putting this together, for even taking the time and putting this ultra complex event together with such precision. You know, I knew this event was going to be one where I got to see all of the vehicles that I had kind of wanted to see all my life. And I knew it was going to be a real opportunity for my son and I to bond on these mutual car, sort of fanboy vehicles that I knew we were going to see, but literally it was every car that you had ever played in a video game, every car that you had watched in a race, and it was happening and unfolding right in front of your eyes and executed so perfectly. One of the biggest surprises that Goodwood had on offer was getting to watch my son become a great photographer right in front of my eyes. Capturing some of these stunning images of cars, he shot most of the footage for this episode, and just being there, so fantastic. From what I can see, car culture is alive and well here in the UK, and I'd say it's on another level. These guys have really tight B roads, and they really take their car culture seriously, developing cars that are perfect for their roads. Like this Escort RS that we didn't get in the States, or even this 3.5 liter Rover V8 TVR that we did get in the States. The wedge styling is gorgeous. And how about this Focus RS? Take a walk with me. You know, it's funny, we're here in the car park and I'm drawn to the more unique cars. You know what's not unique, and shockingly there's a ton of them, is the Huracan. It seems like everyone has bought a Huracan. And I totally understand because they perform amazingly. But how about something a little more unique? Let's look at this. This car's long been one of my favorites, and this ice blue metallic is a gorgeous color. It's a 550 Maranello. I think one of Ferrari's greatest victories. Dark blue leather interior, 6-speed. Does it get any better than that? So pure, so beautiful. From this MC Victory Grand Sport to the 8C to almost everything parked out here. I mean, enthusiasts come out for Goodwood, and it makes the car park a really, really special place. Next time, I think I might even camp here, because the mood is just electric from start to finish. And the stuff being brought out here is stuff we don't get in the States. Your jaw drops every 5 minutes, every time you turn around, because there's something that you just aren't going to see in the States. The car park got me thinking about importing. I've imported cars before, and man, a TVR needs to be part of the Enthusiast garage, right? Maybe not this Peugeot 2008 or 2 Infinity and Beyond or whatever it's called, but it was right-hand drive, it handled pretty well, I enjoyed it. So honestly, my takeaway from this whole adventure is that automotive travel is vital. As Americans, we don't get outside the United States enough. That's a fact. I mean, it just is. I can't tell you how many times I go somewhere and I ask, have you been here, have you been there, with regards to different racetracks, different places, and no one's done any of them. And so I really wanted to make this episode just to incite you to get out there and enjoy the world. England is a beautiful place. The south of England truly, truly is magnificent. And to get this chance to experience this with my son, regardless of Goodwood, kind of in and of itself, was worth the trip. So I would just encourage you. Goodwood's not too far away. My budget for this trip was pretty low. Heck, my budget for most of the trips I've done is pretty low. You can economize. You can get out there and have a good time. And the memories that you make are irreplaceable. So if you love cars and you love adventure, buy a ticket and get going. So if you haven't already, please subscribe to the YouTube channel. Please share these videos if you like them. There's a bunch of them up there. Check them out. Over at timsenthusiastgarage.com, I've launched a complete line of t-shirts, prints, and even a detail spray. So head on over to Tim's Enthusiast Garage, grab some stuff, and stop back. Lots more episodes to come.